There was once a boy named Sam who lived in a small town with his parents. Sam was known by everyone as the laziest boy in the neighborhood. He never wanted to wake up early, and he loved to sleep late. His parents tried to wake him every morning, but he always turned his face to the pillow. While other children prepared for school, Sam lay in bed yawning. His laziness became a part of his daily life. Sam's parents were very worried about his future because he never worked hard. His father was a farmer who woke up before sunrise to take care of the fields. His mother was busy with housework, cooking, and cleaning every day. But Sam never helped them in anything and only wasted time. He avoided chores and found excuses to do nothing. Everyone around him started to say he would never succeed. At school, Sam's teachers were disappointed with him as well. They noticed that he never finished his homework on time. He sat at the back of the class and often fell asleep during lessons. When asked a question, he had no answer because he never studied. Other students laughed at him because he was always lazy. His marks were the lowest in the whole class, and he did not care. Sam's best friend, David, often told him to change his habits. David was a hardworking boy who respected his teachers and parents. He studied hard and helped his family whenever possible. He wanted Sam to do the same, but Sam only laughed. He said, "Life is too short to work all the time. I just want to rest." David shook his head, knowing laziness would bring trouble. One day, Sam's father called him and spoke very seriously. He said, "Sam, life is not easy and nothing comes without effort. If you keep sleeping and wasting your time, you will regret it." But Sam just nodded without listening. He thought his father was only worrying too much. He went back to bed and closed his eyes, ignoring his father's advice. His father sighed heavily, feeling helpless. The days kept passing, and Sam's laziness grew worse. His clothes were always messy because he never took care of them. His shoes were dirty since he refused to clean them. The books in his bag were untouched, and dust gathered on them. His room was always untidy, and his mother scolded him every day. Still, Sam never changed his behavior. Laziness had taken full control of him. One morning, the school announced a sports competition. All the children were excited and started practicing. David encouraged Sam to join and try running, but Sam refused. He said sports were too tiring and not meant for him. Instead of practicing, he sat under a tree, eating snacks. Other children laughed at his laziness, but continued preparing with energy. When the competition day arrived, the whole school gathered on the ground. Teachers, parents, and students were cheering loudly. The races started, and children ran with full strength. David participated in running and won second place. Everyone clapped for him with joy. Sam only yawned and wished the program would end soon so he could go home. After the races, there was a tug-of-war game. Sam's classmates wanted him to join because they needed one more player. But Sam shook his head and said, "I might get hurt if I pull the rope." The team had no choice but to find another student. In the end, they lost the game and felt sad. Many blamed Sam for not helping them. Sam's teacher called him after the competition. She asked why he never participated in anything. She told him that sports teach discipline, teamwork, and strength. She said, "If you keep avoiding challenges, you will always remain weak." But Sam ignored her words as usual. He thought relaxing under a tree was better than sweating in the sun. That evening, David visited Sam's house. He showed his medal to Sam and said, "See, hard work gives results." Sam only shrugged and replied, "Why should I care about medals? They do not give food or comfort." David tried to explain that medals bring respect and pride, but Sam did not listen. He wanted easy things without effort. The next day at school, everyone talked about the competition. Students praised David and other winners for their achievements. Sam felt left out because nobody admired him. Still, he pretended not to care and sat quietly. But deep inside, he felt a small sting of jealousy. He wondered why people respected David but ignored him completely. One weekend, Sam's father decided to test him. He gave Sam a small piece of land near their house and said, "This land is yours now. grow some vegetables here." Sam looked at the land and felt unhappy. He thought farming was too much work. Instead of starting, he left the land empty. Days passed and nothing grew there. Meanwhile, David also got a piece of land from his father. David worked hard every morning, planting seeds and watering them. Slowly, small green plants appeared, and he felt proud. Sam saw this, but did nothing with his own land. His father reminded him again and again, but he refused to listen. He kept wasting time sleeping and wandering. A month later, David's garden was full of fresh vegetables. Carrots, tomatoes, and beans grew beautifully. His parents praised him for his effort, and neighbors admired the garden. David even sold some vegetables in the market and earned money. Sam's land, however, was dry and empty, filled only with weeds. People compared the two boys and shook their heads. Sam's mother felt very upset. She told him, "Look at David. He is younger than you, yet he works harder and earns respect. Why can't you do the same?" Sam gave excuses, saying he was too tired or not interested. His mother sighed and stopped talking, feeling hopeless. She worried that Sam's future would be full of failure. One evening, Sam's father came home very tired. He had worked all day in the field and looked exhausted. He told Sam, "One day you will realize that hard work is the only way to live. If you don't change, you will face shame." Sam only nodded carelessly and walked away. His father felt pain in his heart because his son did not understand. Later that night, Sam lay on his bed and thought about David's garden. For the first time, he felt a little guilty. He wished he had tried to plant something. But then he told himself, "It's too much trouble. Maybe later." He turned over and fell asleep again, letting his laziness win. The land outside remained empty and useless. One day, the school planned a group project. The teacher divided the class into small teams and asked them to build a model of a town. Each student had to bring some materials and work together. David's team included Sam, and everyone worried because they knew Sam was lazy. David encouraged him and said, "Please, do your part this time." Sam promised half-heartedly. The project began, and other students brought cardboard, colors, glue, and small sticks. They worked hard to design houses, roads, and trees. Sam, however, forgot to bring anything. When asked, he lied and said he was too busy. In truth, he had spent the whole evening sleeping. The team grew frustrated with him, but continued without his help. On presentation day, David's group still managed to finish the model. But the teacher noticed that Sam had done nothing. She asked, "Sam, what was your contribution?" Sam stayed silent, looking embarrassed. The teacher frowned and said, "You cannot always depend on others. One day, people will stop trusting you." Her words made Sam feel uncomfortable. After class, David spoke seriously to Sam. He said, "I am your friend, but you are making everyone angry. If you keep being lazy, no one will want you in their team." Sam laughed nervously, trying to hide his guilt. He said, "Why should I worry? Others will do the work anyway." David shook his head, realizing Sam might never change. That evening, when Sam reached home, his father was waiting for him. His teacher had called to complain about his behavior. His father scolded him strongly, saying, "This is shameful. Even your school has no respect for you now." Sam lowered his eyes and remained quiet. For the first time, he felt truly ashamed of himself. But laziness still held him tightly. The next morning, Sam stayed in bed as usual. But this time, he could not sleep peacefully. His teacher's words and his father's anger echoed in his mind. He felt heavy inside, as if something was wrong. He wondered if his laziness was slowly destroying his life. Yet instead of getting up, he pulled the blanket over his face. The struggle continued inside him. One hot afternoon, Sam's father asked him to deliver a bag of wheat to the mill. It was only a short walk, but Sam complained that the sun was too strong. His father insisted, so Sam went slowly, dragging his feet. Halfway, he sat under a tree and decided to rest. He fell asleep, and when he woke up, the mill was already closed. The wheat remained undelivered. When Sam returned home, his father was very angry. The miller had needed the wheat urgently and complained about the delay. His father said, "You are becoming a burden on everyone. Even a small task is too hard for you." Sam tried to make excuses, but no one listened. His mother looked at him with sadness. Sam felt guilty, but still did not change. That night, Sam had a strange dream. In the dream, he was walking through a desert with nothing to eat or drink. He saw other people working hard and carrying water, but no one helped him. His throat was dry, and his body felt weak. Suddenly, he realized he had no strength because he never practiced effort in life. He woke up sweating. The dream made Sam think for a while. He told himself, "Maybe my laziness will bring real trouble someday." For the first time, he felt fear about the future. But when morning came, his old habits returned. Instead of helping his father in the field, he sat by the river, throwing stones in the water. His thoughts of change disappeared quickly. Meanwhile, David was becoming more successful. He studied hard, helped his family, and gained respect in school. Teachers praised him, and neighbors admired his character. David sometimes tried to motivate Sam, but it seemed useless. Sam's jealousy grew quietly, even though he pretended not to care. He wished for success without effort, which was impossible. One weekend, the town announced a fair with many stalls and games. People were allowed to sell food, crafts, and vegetables. David prepared his fresh vegetables to sell at the fair. Sam wanted to join but had nothing to offer. His empty hands made him realize the result of his laziness. Still, instead of learning, he told himself he was unlucky. The fair day arrived, and the whole town was full of excitement. Colorful tents, music, and laughter filled the air. David arranged his stall neatly with baskets of fresh vegetables. Customers came quickly because his vegetables looked healthy and clean. Soon, people lined up to buy from him, and his stall became very busy. Sam only walked around with empty hands, feeling useless. Sam stopped at David's stall and saw the money box filling with coins. He felt jealous, but said nothing. Some of their classmates passed by and praised David. They said, "You are hardworking, and your vegetables are the best." Sam forced a smile, but inside, he felt very small. He realized people respected David because of his effort, not luck. Later, Sam sat alone under a tree at the fair. He looked at the happy faces of people enjoying food, toys, and music. Everyone seemed busy doing something useful, while he did nothing. He thought about his empty land and how it could have given him vegetables too. For the first time, regret began to grow in his heart. Laziness had stolen his chance. When he returned home, his father asked what he had seen at the fair. Sam quietly replied, "David sold vegetables and earned money." His father nodded and said, "That could have been you, if you had worked hard." Sam stayed silent because he knew it was true. The words cut deep inside him, and he felt ashamed of himself. That night, Sam could not sleep easily. He kept thinking about the fair, the money, and the respect David received. He imagined himself standing proudly behind a stall, but in reality, he had nothing. He understood now that laziness always gave empty hands. Yet he still struggled to break his habits. Change looked difficult and painful. The next morning, Sam stayed in bed again, but something was different. He no longer felt comfortable while lying down. The pictures of David's success disturbed his rest. He turned from side to side, unable to relax. His heart whispered, "Get up and do something." But his body was heavy, pulling him back into old ways. The battle inside him grew stronger. One day, the school announced an essay competition. The topic was "Hard work leads to success." Students were asked to write and present their essays. David became excited and immediately started preparing. He spent evenings reading books and collecting ideas. Sam, however, did not even try. He thought writing was boring and decided to skip it. On the day of the competition, the classroom was full of energy. Students came forward one by one to read their essays. When David's turn arrived, he spoke with confidence. His essay explained how hard work shaped life and brought respect. Teachers and students clapped loudly for him. Sam sat quietly, wishing he had at least tried. The principal announced the winners, and David received first prize. He was given a new book and a certificate. His parents felt proud, and his teachers smiled at him. Sam felt invisible, sitting with nothing in his hands. Once again, his laziness had kept him from success. The pain of failure began to grow stronger in him. That evening, David visited Sam and encouraged him again. He said, "Sam, you are not stupid, but your laziness is killing your future. If you make a small effort every day, you can also succeed." Sam listened, but said nothing. His heart wanted to agree, but his body longed for rest. He was trapped between two choices. A few days later, Sam's teacher gave the class a surprise test. David and others wrote quickly and answered most questions. Sam stared at the paper, unable to remember anything. He had not studied and could only write a few lines. When the teacher returned the papers, Sam had failed badly. His marks were the lowest in the class. The teacher called Sam after class and spoke kindly this time. She said, "Sam, I know you can do better, but you must fight your laziness. No one else can save you, not even your parents or friends. Only you can change yourself." Sam felt touched by her gentle words. For the first time, he wanted to believe her. That night, Sam sat on his bed and thought about his life. He remembered the failed test, the empty land, and the fair where David earned money. He realized that all these losses came from his own laziness. For the first time, he felt tears in his eyes. He whispered to himself, "Maybe it is time to change." But he was afraid of hard work. The next morning, Sam surprised his mother by waking up early. She was shocked to see him sitting at the table with his books. He told her he wanted to study for the next lesson. His mother smiled with hope and encouraged him. She said, "It is never too late to improve." Sam felt proud of himself for taking a small step. At school, Sam tried to listen carefully in class. He wrote notes and asked questions, which amazed his teacher. David noticed the change and felt happy for his friend. He whispered, "Good job, Sam. Keep going." Sam nodded with a shy smile. Though it was difficult, he felt a new energy inside. After school, Sam decided to clean his room for the first time. He picked up his dirty clothes, arranged his books, and swept the floor. His mother entered and could hardly believe her eyes. She hugged him and said, "I am so proud of you." Sam realized that even small efforts brought happiness. Laziness had never given him such joy. The next week, Sam helped his father in the field. At first, his body felt weak and tired. But slowly, he learned how to carry tools and water the plants. His father watched him with quiet happiness. He thought, "Maybe my son is finally changing." Sam felt pain in his hands, but also pride in his heart. David visited Sam's field and encouraged him again. He said, "See, Sam, this is how success begins. Small steps lead to big results." Sam smiled and replied, "I think I understand now." He still felt lazy sometimes, but he did not give up. For the first time, hope entered his life. The change had truly begun. Over the next few weeks, Sam worked harder than before. Every morning, he studied his lessons before going to school. In the afternoons, he helped his father in the field. At night, he spent time reading instead of sleeping early. His parents noticed the change and felt proud. Even neighbors started saying, "Sam is not the same lazy boy anymore." At school, Sam's teachers also began to see his improvement. He raised his hand in class and answered questions. His handwriting became neater, and his homework was always completed. Students who once laughed at him started respecting him. David felt proud to see his friend finally shining. Sam felt a new kind of happiness he had never known before. One Saturday, Sam decided to plant vegetables on his empty land. He remembered how David's garden had brought success. With his father's help, he dug the soil and planted seeds. Every day, he watered them and removed weeds. Slowly, small green shoots appeared, filling him with excitement. He felt proud that his land was no longer empty. Weeks passed, and Sam's garden grew beautifully. Tomatoes, carrots, and beans covered the land. His mother cooked meals using his vegetables, and the family enjoyed them. Sam smiled, feeling useful for the first time. Soon, neighbors praised his effort and asked how he managed it. He proudly said, "Hard work and care make everything possible." Later, his school announced another competition, this time for gardening. Students were asked to show what they could grow at home. Sam entered the competition with confidence. When the judges visited his garden, they were amazed. They gave him first prize and praised his dedication. Sam stood proudly, holding his certificate in his hands. That evening, Sam shared the news with David. Both boys celebrated together, laughing with joy. Sam said, "I used to waste my time sleeping, but now I see the power of effort." David nodded happily and replied, "I always believed you could change." Sam felt grateful for his friend's support. He realized laziness had almost ruined his life, but not anymore. As months passed, Sam's grades improved in every subject. His teachers often praised him in front of the class. He no longer sat at the back but closer to the teacher. His classmates asked him for help with homework, and he felt proud to guide them. The same students who once laughed at him now respected him. Sam's heart filled with new confidence. At home, his parents felt relieved and happy. His father often said, "This is the son I always dreamed of." His mother told neighbors proudly about his progress. Sam began helping with cooking, cleaning, and farm work without complaints. His family's bond grew stronger than before. Laziness no longer ruled his life as it once had. One morning, the school principal called Sam to her office. She told him, "I have seen your change, and I am very proud. You are an example for others now. We want you to give a short speech at the school assembly about hard work." Sam felt nervous at first, but he agreed. He knew this was his chance to inspire others. On assembly day, the entire school gathered in the courtyard. Sam stood on the stage with shaking hands. He took a deep breath and began his speech. He told the students how laziness had made him lose respect and opportunities. He explained how small steps of effort slowly changed his life. The audience listened carefully to every word. When he finished, the courtyard echoed with claps and cheers. Even the principal smiled and said, "Well done, Sam. You have taught everyone an important lesson." David clapped the loudest, proud of his friend's journey. Sam felt a wave of happiness flow through him. For the first time, he was admired not for luck, but for effort. That evening, Sam sat in his garden, looking at the plants. He remembered the old days when he wasted time under trees doing nothing. Now he was sitting under the same sky, but with a heart full of hope. He realized that change was not easy, but it was possible. Laziness had lost, and determination had won. Sam promised never to go back again. Sam's story began to spread around the town. Parents told their children about him as an example. They said, "If Sam can change, anyone can change." Neighbors often visited his garden and asked for advice. Sam shared tips about planting and studying with kindness. He felt proud that his life could inspire others now. One day, his teacher asked him to mentor younger students. She believed his journey from laziness to hard work would encourage them. Sam agreed happily and started helping small children with reading and writing. At first, he struggled to explain, but soon he learned patience. The children admired him and followed his guidance. Sam discovered he loved teaching. At home, Sam began making future plans. He told his parents, "I want to study agriculture so I can improve farming." His father's eyes filled with joy hearing those words. His mother said, "We will support you in every way." Sam worked harder in school to reach this dream. He finally understood the value of a goal. One summer, the town arranged a youth competition in farming. Young boys and girls were asked to show their skills in planting. Sam joined with full energy and prepared his land carefully. He studied different methods to make the soil better. When the judges came, his field looked green and healthy. Sam won first prize again. Winning the farming competition gave Sam more respect. People from nearby villages heard about him and came to see his work. They praised his dedication and intelligence. Sam spoke humbly, always saying, "It is only the result of hard work." His old laziness seemed like a distant memory now. He felt as if a new life had begun. That evening, Sam and David sat together near the river. The cool wind blew gently, and the water sparkled in the moonlight. Sam said, "I wasted so much time in the past, but I am glad I changed." David smiled and replied, "You proved that anyone can change if they really want." Both friends laughed, feeling proud and hopeful for the future. As time passed, Sam's confidence grew stronger. He was no longer the sleepy boy who hid from work. Instead, he became a symbol of effort and change. Teachers often used his example in classrooms. Younger children looked up to him with admiration. Sam felt proud but also humble, remembering his old mistakes. One day, the school invited parents for a special function. Sam was asked to present a drama about laziness and hard work. He agreed and wrote a short play with David's help. In the drama, he acted as a lazy boy who wasted all his time. Then he showed how the boy changed with effort. The audience clapped loudly, enjoying every scene. After the function, Sam's father hugged him in front of everyone. He said, "You have made me proud, son. I once feared you would fail in life, but now I believe in you." Sam's mother wiped her tears happily. David also smiled, feeling proud as a true friend. That night, Sam slept with peace in his heart. The next morning, Sam woke up early as usual. He looked at his garden, shining with fresh vegetables. He watered the plants with care and thought about the future. He dreamed of building a bigger farm one day. He imagined himself helping farmers with new ideas. These thoughts filled him with excitement and energy. Soon, Sam was invited to a youth conference in the city. Students from many schools gathered there to share ideas. Sam stood on the stage and spoke about his journey. He told them how laziness had made him weak and useless. Then he explained how small daily efforts changed his life completely. The audience listened carefully and clapped warmly. When Sam returned home, the town welcomed him like a hero. Children ran behind him, calling his name with joy. Neighbors congratulated his parents and praised his achievements. His father said proudly, "My son is an example for all." Sam smiled, remembering his lazy past. He knew he would never let laziness control him again. As the months went by, Sam's life kept improving. His marks in school grew higher with each exam. Teachers trusted him with responsibilities, like leading small groups. Sam enjoyed helping his classmates and guiding them in studies. His parents felt proud whenever his name was mentioned. The boy who once wasted time now valued every moment. One day, Sam's class went on a trip to a science fair. There were many projects from different schools. David displayed a model of a water pump, while Sam presented his garden project. Judges were impressed by his explanation of soil care. They gave him a special award for creativity. Sam felt thrilled, holding the shining medal in his hands. Back at school, the principal called Sam to her office. She said, "You are becoming a role model for others. I hope you continue to work hard and inspire many more." Sam nodded respectfully, feeling grateful. He realized that respect was far better than the lazy comfort of sleep. His heart felt light with pride and determination. At home, Sam began helping his father with bigger tasks. He learned how to plow the field and manage animals. Though the work was tiring, he no longer complained. Instead, he enjoyed the feeling of being useful. His father often smiled secretly, happy to see the change. The bond between father and son grew stronger every day. One evening, Sam and David were walking through the town. A group of younger children followed them, asking questions about study and farming. David answered patiently, and Sam shared his gardening tips. The children listened carefully, admiring both friends. Sam realized that leadership was not about power but about guidance. This made him feel truly responsible. That night, Sam wrote in his notebook for the first time. He wrote, "Laziness is a thief of life. Hard work gives respect, happiness, and peace." He kept the notebook under his pillow like a treasure. Whenever he felt tired or weak, he read those lines. They reminded him never to return to his old habits. His new life had truly begun. One rainy morning, Sam woke up early and looked outside. The fields were wet, and water drops shone on the leaves. He wore his boots and went out to check his garden. Even in the rain, he cared for his plants carefully. His mother watched from the window with pride. She whispered, "My son has truly changed." At school, Sam's progress continued. He took part in debates, sports, and science activities. He was not the best in everything, but he gave his best effort. Teachers admired his courage to try. His classmates encouraged him and treated him with respect. Sam enjoyed learning new skills instead of wasting time. One day, the town library announced a story writing contest. Sam decided to join, even though writing was hard for him before. He worked for days, writing about a boy who fought against laziness. The story was simple but honest, filled with his own feelings. When the results came, Sam won second prize. The judges praised his message. David clapped him on the back and said, "See, you are inspiring others with your words too." Sam smiled and replied, "I just shared my truth." That night, Sam read his story to his parents. They listened carefully and felt emotional. His father said, "This story is your life. You should keep writing more." Sam promised to continue. As weeks passed, Sam's garden grew bigger. He saved money from selling vegetables and bought more seeds. He even built a small shed to store tools. Neighbors often visited to see his work and took advice from him. Sam began to dream of starting a farming group for young people. His ideas were growing just like his plants. One evening, while sitting with David, Sam said, "I used to think laziness was comfort, but it was only sadness. Hard work is difficult, but it gives real happiness." David nodded and said, "You are proof of that, my friend." They both laughed together under the stars. The sound of their laughter carried hope across the quiet night. One bright Saturday, the school arranged a sports competition. Sam joined the running race for the first time. He was nervous because he had never trained before. But he remembered his new habit of not giving up. When the whistle blew, he ran with all his strength. He did not win first place, but he finished proudly. After the race, his classmates clapped for him. They shouted, "Well done, Sam. You didn't stop." Sam's smile was wide, and his heart filled with joy. He had learned that success was not only about winning. It was about trying and staying strong till the end. That lesson became another brick in his new character. At home, Sam shared the day's story with his parents. His father listened carefully and nodded with approval. "Life is like a race," his father said. "It doesn't matter who runs faster. What matters is who keeps running without quitting." Sam agreed and felt grateful. These words gave him courage for future challenges. One afternoon, Sam saw younger children playing lazily near the river. They were skipping school and wasting time like he once did. He walked to them and said kindly, "I was like you once. But laziness will steal your future." The children listened with wide eyes. They promised to work harder in their studies. Sam realized he was slowly becoming a guide for others. His past mistakes were turning into lessons for many children. He felt happy that his story could help them. David encouraged him to speak more often. Together, they planned to start a small group for students. The group would meet weekly to discuss learning and discipline. The first meeting took place under a big tree near school. A handful of students sat in a circle, listening to Sam. He shared how laziness had once controlled his life. Then he explained how change was possible with small steps. The students clapped, inspired by his honesty. Sam felt proud but also humble at the same time. The student group started meeting every week without fail. Some children shared their study problems, while others talked about laziness. Sam listened carefully and gave advice based on his own journey. He encouraged them to make small goals each day. The group slowly grew as more children joined. Teachers were impressed by the positive change in students. One day, the school principal visited their meeting. She watched quietly as Sam guided the group with patience. Afterward, she said, "Sam, you're doing a wonderful job. You have turned your weakness into strength. This group is a gift to our school." Her words filled Sam with pride and responsibility. He promised to continue the effort sincerely. Meanwhile, Sam's garden continued to flourish. He harvested fresh vegetables and sold them in the local market. People trusted his produce because it was grown with care. He used the earnings to buy books and supplies for poor students. His mother often said, "Sam, your hands are not only strong but also generous." That made him smile warmly. David supported him in every step of this journey. He helped organize the student group and managed the garden sales. The two friends worked together like brothers. Sometimes they laughed at how different Sam was from the past. David often teased, "Do you even remember what sleeping till noon feels like?" Sam laughed. "No, and I never want to." As time passed, Sam began to dream bigger. He wanted to study agriculture to learn modern farming methods. His father, though not wealthy, promised to support his dream. Sam studied hard to prepare for entrance exams. Every night, he revised his lessons with full focus. He believed that education would open doors for him and others. One evening, Sam wrote in his notebook again. He wrote, "The past is a lesson, the present is action, and the future is hope." These words became his guiding light. Whenever he felt tired, he read them aloud. His journey had taught him discipline and strength. Laziness was no longer his master, it had become his teacher. The entrance exam day finally arrived. Sam woke up early, dressed neatly, and carried his bag of notes. His parents wished him luck with smiles and prayers. David walked with him to the exam center, giving encouragement. Sam felt nervous, but also confident after months of preparation. He sat down and focused with all his energy. The exam was not easy, but Sam kept calm. He read each question carefully and answered with patience. Sometimes he struggled, but he remembered not to give up. Hours passed, and finally the test was over. Sam walked out feeling tired but hopeful. David met him outside and said, "You did your best, that's enough." Weeks later, the results were announced. Sam's heart pounded as he checked the board. His name was there among the selected students. He had passed with high marks and earned admission. His parents hugged him with tears of joy. David shouted, "I knew you could do it." The whole village celebrated his success proudly. Before leaving for college, Sam visited his garden one last time. He touched the plants gently, feeling grateful for what they taught him. "You were my first teachers," he whispered softly. He promised to continue learning and to return with more knowledge. His father smiled and said, "Go, son. Bring back wisdom for us all." College life was very different for Sam. The city was big, busy, and full of challenges. At first, he struggled to adjust to new routines. But he remembered his fight against laziness and kept trying. He woke early, studied hard, and asked questions in class. Slowly, he began to shine among other students. One professor noticed his dedication and gave him guidance. He said, "Sam, you have passion for farming and leadership. Use it well, and you will change many lives." These words touched Sam deeply. He realized his dream was bigger than just personal success. He wanted to help farmers, students, and the entire village. His journey had only begun. Years passed, and Sam completed his studies with honor. He returned to his village with new farming ideas. The people welcomed him with drums, flowers, and cheers. His father hugged him tightly and whispered, "You have made us proud." Sam looked around at the smiling faces. His heart felt full of love and purpose. Sam started a farming center for young people. He taught them modern methods and also shared lessons about discipline. Many children who were once lazy now worked with energy. They grew vegetables, fruits, and grains together. The village became greener and more successful. Everyone thanked Sam for bringing hope and change. David remained his closest friend and helper. Together, they expanded the student group into a youth club. The club offered study help, farming lessons, and sports. Laughter and learning filled the fields and classrooms. Parents no longer worried about lazy children. The entire community grew stronger and happier as one family. One evening, the village gathered for a celebration. Lights sparkled, music played, and food was shared. The principal of Sam's old school gave a speech. She said, "Once he was a lazy boy, but now he is our pride." The crowd clapped and cheered loudly. Sam bowed his head with humility and gratitude. That night, Sam sat by his garden, now large and beautiful. The stars shone above, and the air was peaceful. He remembered his old lazy days but felt no regret. Those mistakes had guided him to a better path. He whispered to himself, "Hard work is the key to happiness." His smile glowed brighter than the moon. From that day forward, Sam's story spread to many towns. Children everywhere learned that laziness could be defeated. His name became a symbol of hope and effort. The boy who once wasted time became a man of inspiration. His life proved that change was always possible. And so, Sam lived happily, with respect and joy forever.